Hello everyone. Today I'm taking a look at the first preview of the Manjaro 19.0 GNOME release, and I have this running in a virtual machine just to test it out, and I'm going to take a look at it on hardware as well, but just thought I would run through here and take a look at what's new. So you saw there on the login screen some new theming, and one of the other major things, we'll get back to the hello screen in a second. So if we look at the announcement post, this is the first test build for the upcoming Manjaro GNOME 19.0 edition. It's a full build on the testing branch, and some highlights are fixes are in place for VirtualBox support, which I can attest to because it's working perfectly fine. Linux 5.4 kernel, Nvidia 440 driver with Prime support, and that's why I want to test this on hardware because I have a laptop with Nvidia hybrid graphics, so I want to see how that's working. There's a layout switcher so that you can pick different layouts, and they're showing that in the screenshot here, and I'll show you that it's located in the welcome screen. And they also have the latest theme and many more changes. So let's take a look at that layout switcher. So on the welcome screen, which you will see on all editions of Manjaro, there's now a new button. And this new button launches a layouts manager. And you've probably seen things that are similar to this in the past. And basically this is giving you the ability to switch between the default Manjaro layout, which is dash to dock on the left as a dash to dock on the left as an always visible dock. And if you get the window close to it, it goes away, comes back. We also have a classic mode, which gives us dash to panel instead of dash to dock, and also the arc menu. So this is very similar to what you'd see on something like Zorin, for example. And, you know, we've got our tray and our clock and favorites in the taskbar. There's a modern view, and the modern view puts a dock at the bottom. And again, this is dash to dock again. And instead of it being up on the left, it's now down on the bottom. And then you have just the classic GNOME layout, which is nothing on the screen, and things come up in activities. So there you go. Now you may notice a little bug here that I found where it's not where the thumbnails are disappearing as you click around. If you click back, they show up again. I've reported this to the developer, so I'm sure that they'll fix that, but it's a little bug. Everything else still works fine. So apply Manjaro again. And there's also a settings tab as well, and it gives you some options to set a dynamic wallpaper, which means that it can pull from either a number of pictures that you put here or a folder and then specify different parameters for how you want it to switch your wallpapers for you. They include the tweak tool by default, so you can go in and take a look at that as well. Now, as you noticed, as I was switching the different layouts, it was using different extensions to achieve that. And so if you look under extensions, you'll notice there are a bunch already installed. And so you saw that dash to dock was for the, let's see which layouts was. The modern and Manjaro are using dash to dock, and classic is using dash to panel. So that's why you see both of those. And when it's using dash to panel, it's also using the arc menu. So they're all installed. And then what this switching application is doing, if you go and actually look at the file itself, down towards the bottom. Okay. So it's actually setting which extensions are enabled and disabled, and then setting some preferences as well. So you see on the Manjaro, it's setting dash to dock as enabled, and then setting the position to left. And then if we were to look at Mac, and Mac is what it's being called internally, but it's shown in the hello, it's the modern layout. So here you see it's doing the same thing, but it's setting the position to bottom instead of left. And then for Win, which would be the classic, it's enabling dash to panel and setting some options there as well. So it's very easy to understand exactly what it's doing and how it's doing it. It's a very nice little addition, and I think that's a great way to let people choose the layout and give them an easy way to do that other than having to install all of these extensions manually and then configure them. This is a really nice out-of-the-box experience for quickly getting the desktop layout that you'd like on Manjaro GNOME. So also in settings, we have online accounts, which is just a quick shortcut to set up your online accounts. You can remove the Manjaro branding. If you remember at the beginning of the video on the login screen, the GDM login screen, it had Manjaro specific branding. If you'd prefer just the standard GDM greeter, you could untick this. If you are on a system that supports a Wayland session, you can choose that. If you want to have desktop icons enabled, toggle the system tray. So the overall layouts themselves, and then some more granular controls here under the settings. Very nice addition, very handy. And they mention latest theme and more, and I can see the theme here is slightly different, but for the most part, this is a very familiar Manjaro GNOME experience. And as you'd expect, there's also a number of pre-installed applications for you. And also as part of the installer if you remember, they recently introduced the ability to pick which Office suite that you'd like to use, whether you'd like to use LibreOffice or FreeOffice or none. And when I installed, I chose FreeOffice. And yeah, I really don't see a lot different other than what Phil mentioned here with the new kernel, Nvidia driver, the layout switcher, and the latest theme. So from what I can see so far, it seems to be running really well. And the layout switcher is a great addition. So more great stuff out of the Manjaro team. And I'm looking forward to watching the development of this up to release. If you guys are interested, take a look. If you find any issues like I found here with these thumbnails disappearing, be sure to go to the forum and report them. That's all for me for this video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you do, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.